Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
Sesi ameno okasai. So how your debt to your GDP? Your debt to your GDP. I'll reduce what IMF projections say. In the next 9 years, that is it 2040? That are 2035.
35.
And I'm more expected say Ghana your debt to your GDP will drop to 45%.
Exactly.
6 months debt to GDP or more expected ever happen in the next 9 years. You know, happen within 6 months, and then your debt to your GDP is 43%. IMF say your debt to your GDP no. Or mama ya 10 years because mo hekwan na minus economy be akufo adonam na. Or mama the next 10 years say
ansana
your debt to your GDP will drop to 45. Within 6 months, Ghana debt to your GDP is now around 43. And then another very funny discussion be across the so debt restructuring no mo kokoye no debt restructuring no mo kokoye Alaska. Debt restructuring no mo ye no. Repayment no next year 2026 yetua. The following 2027 yetua 40 million. The following way yetua 43 million. Etwa so sa and again sa bosia no mo boy no in the first place na nyansa bi anim so mo those bosia metena ha ka kire wo.
That's right.
Ko bosia no mo bo no they were just amko bo bosia so mo de be road. Over about 400 million. E no mutia 100 million e ma contractor and sika na kan be si no hwehwa wu.
Omadi.
And the road no da ho. I think that President Mahama the big push agenda na wa fasa we just na o shame. Omo baba ya.
Ebi su krabo wa contract and the same certificate ometua no double.
Alaska maybe tena ha ba catch say Ghana cedi in April was the best performing currency in the whole of the world.
Exactly.
Because said the cedi no dollar ne city na. When you stabilize your dollar and as a currency now because most of yesika no dodo na no e de amanfo ka wa bonten and it is priced in dollars. And then when abra cedi no reduce na dollar no cost no e bia medoka $10,000. So dollar no to me e depreciate e conforma $5,000 no in Ghana terms no it me qua over better 5.
Exactly.
Now okay kwa animu and which me say on the reverse no so what me ya na say cedi no appreciate ya o kate dollars no be bretugu and the same no ka say bosia na first number tena ka che say Ghana ya kai 700 something and that's asika no over better 120 billion afri so.
That's right.
So I don't explain why the debt to GDP has slashed down. So some of these things are not obi creations. So there is a reason why everything is happening. And again, your friend is saying, so we have a buying initiative back when no more so yeah, me free say in the long term, maybe me boy has to do with the pricing in dollars. Matana culture say your foreign in some you can sometimes they listen.
Oh, sir.
My culture say your foreign exchange we no regime no we need to retool the laws and make sure say even make it very effective. They say a buy say henceforth. Every single government contract be a moment biano will be valued in cedi terms.
That's
no more dollars.
Source no baby scanning feedback.
Yes, it's in dollars. Because when you price in dollars, now say there is fluctuation in the sikana. Obe na aka wo de buru ya we tue nye. But whenever it is in Ghana cedis, now say wutimi ya na wo sika ni nya ahoden a aka na so tema. So it is always proper to own a significant portion of your debt, in your local currency. And it's now some of the countries like Nigeria. Do you know what they do? Or more capping or more foreign borrowing. You can't go beyond 30%.
Okay.
So Nigeria, foreign, your friend saying borrowing, they are capping it to 30. Internally, 70. Because if you're born internally now, it's easy to pay. But okoba bontia what the China ka would wake up euro bond and na se for no the very moment you see your currency drops we see kind of kosro and this our board do na from oman mu a ene de nka samre ya cedi kosro nka wunya dollar kakra we timi tua kan nyina.
That's right.
Sanete enti say aban say henceforth all contracting na se for no nyina and it should be a standard to hotels and other entities in na se for no ma
schools ni others.
Yes mo yeah. And over the week, Professor Jampo, some very, very important will be on a shipping way. I think people were complaining, say, shipping lines, Obia or the dollar rate order them. It depending on baby abukakofa and no move Ghana for no fast. So when people complain, I think the discussion were held that I know the day the Bank of Ghana issued directive say all the shipping lines should publish their ratings on daily basis.
That's right.
And must make sure that it reflects it with the Bank of Ghana one.
Rates.
Sabaya affected prices any business in Nasifonum. So the shipping authority line, I think these are some of the significant things I happen on that particular line. One of the important things that are buying air and Alaska. So the way a manner things are play out in this whole budget. Clearly you see that the signs are quite obvious. Because my number has a nipa da sani tena Bank of Ghana sia sika Addison attend Bank of Ghana into a printing press or that's right na hey me ko sika no akowura ho na obu sika to the extent say we na inflation rise to over 54%
inflation.
Yes, inflation got to 54% in this country under who left parliament yesterday. Inflation no Ato Forson said I'm saying 13
omumu catch say 13 credit hardship aba.
These are jokers. These Akufo-Addo and his ministers took the inflation numbers to 54%. 6 months the inflation number and I'm 13. Now when you buy for why will you say you are against this thing? And you buy because the IMF expect to say and there will be a drastic or downward reduction in inflation number. But right. Nobody expected say it will be this quick.
From that 54 to 13.
54 to 13 in the period of 6 months. And yeah, he's a
what they were saying is also we around 28, so in a period of 6 months, he had about 13%, and they were quoting 28. That's at the time they were leaving office.
Alaska, 28. I'm saying, sir, we printed money to a pointer. It could do 58.
54.
Yes, yeah. Last year, by the time they were exiting, it was around 28 thereabout.
That's right.
But it doesn't change the fact that now it is 13%.
13%, yeah.
And say you're careful, you're very careful. For the first time, we are going to hit a single-digit inflation number. Professor Mills, the man here for almost 12 months. In the history of this country in recent times, they've been seen that. So who are the best managers of the economy? And yet, these guys don't talk. Ato Forson, apart from so called the budget, what is all Kasa baby?
No, you don't even know the economic management team.
In Nigeria, I call school, I call Harvard, I call Yale. Who cares about those nonsense? It is about the intellectual acumen you've been able to acquire and how you're solving society's problem. That is all that we are interested in. We don't care where you are coming from, where you belong to, or whatever association you have. Fix the problems and shut up. That is the only thing.
You fix the problem
and you shut up.
One of reforms also there about when you go to port, I was would charge it by Bank of Ghana rates.
That is it.
And Alaska, are you aware? Say first, I will call you car. Sikabumre egosono and a friend of mine came to me and I'm gonna have a discussion or your importer or no so cars and as a phone. Or say car first a wuya utia over beer 80,000 Ghana cedis and sana would 80,000 Ghana 800 million and away, you know. As I say, okwa is around 600,000. And no expectations that some of the taxes in the president will take them out, sabe bus from the more. So it's not as he said nothing is happening. Me, these are some of the things I want to share with people. Say, you see, over the years, we've been criticizing government. We've been at the back of government. We are not naysayers. We want things to be done right. Sabia Ghana for Benya Somfaso. So, if there are signs that shows that something good is happening, we need to highlight it and urge people the same way a jigua.
That's right.
What I say because yet we don't have. There are no permanent friends. So it is about doing good. We are now we will party you at the back. We are now sena yabaka, and that is so. Now is the time. Nipano yeno. Why can't we say it's good? You understand? Because me motivation is that sorry. Not the average and the ordinary Ghanaian. Niyama ko yemano. And I'll be telling them, say, one of the major things that affecting young people in this country has to do with this rent thing. So for me, I have one problem I will solve. What solve millions of problems for young people in Accra, Alaska. Among forces, yes, or man almost see or more dying. But when you are renting a room out, you are engaging in a transactional activity, which is business. Exactly. It must attract taxes. People sit somewhere and no other sort of team can amatome just because there are no laws regulating any of these things. Obviously, there was a major 3 years advance.
Our haver.
Yes, even Ivory Coast. Unim now the dime will be a rent now with 4 months we go jail. Ivory Coast higher.
Ivory Coast.
I'm telling you, we take more than 3 months advance rent advance for mobile, you go to prison. Why can't we do the same thing here? Because I say young people no more suffer because obi betimi aye adwuma dan no kra wo dem no nya ho hwe okoda sori akokwe nsansa na oba na waso watum obi di kokwe nsansa na san oba waso watum oba ka kire o say ye fa ne say wuntrama but young people do not say betimi asi adan. So it is the responsibility of government to come to the aid of these people and with proper laws. I betimi regulate some of these things. Sabaya young people anyuma ketwa no mo ye no, they can be able to at least pay for their accommodation in this manner. Now let's go back to susua they could ya dan ka be 100 million. Now okoda for man akoda soro. No 100 million and pank dan no ko hanan pank hwi ni mo. E dan ne keke ye mpenti ye mu fi no. E na ye 100 million no. And someone say kopesi kapudu asia be kwakwram. This is why we vote for government to weave laws to do these things. Oh yeah, nipa hobato no. Because governance is all about buying relief for people.
Exactly.
So if you can't do these things, that will be a news. So you
buy
understand?
Relief.
Yes, for people.
And now I see that you come was settlement. Masa ube soon.
Repair everything off.
Yes, and these jokers today are running to embassies telling them, say, Obim come away. Sagleme dino.
Masa.
Abubu say. Yes, so that is why they were bent on selling it out to a private developer.
Challenge me see ube soon.
Yes. So
and that is why I'm urging John Mahama to be very radical in dealing with this criminal, because if he doesn't jail these people and also prosecute these people, the goodwill is going to be a short lived. I'm telling you. That's a Ghana for 10 years against you.
You can't stand
So or anything be able to do, he should turn attention to some of these things, because criminal negligence alone can take you to jail. Chachuchi kata nko bobosia. So the baba oil exploration when this can
I say willfully causing financial loss to the state, because when you use Sikano for and to me and self with that purpose.
Yes.
And at the time, I think that is misappropriation, right?
No, I say willfully causing financial loss to the state. Willfully. Because you see, Neman Kofo no Krumano. So Saglemedan Mahama ye no. Air conditioning way down. Oh, everyone had a TV boom. Say, oh, call that dynamo. What are them kwana ba?
How the back
TV e nkonwa bibia everything are you ready? And now ko hani nyina sai.
O me via ni nyina.
The reason is say mo ka say mbesi dan 5,000 ya kwa de si onuru 500. Na wa bodam 500 man nipa nkwatrem na mu ni di aka ho. Like people who build the dino Collins Dauda nko, they are still in Ghana. And they let people occupy the room and then deal with them. Me, that was the argument I'm making. You don't allow the building to and say
because they pay way for their people to go in for those.
The same thing happened at Kumasi Afari Hospital, Alaska. It got to a point now Otum for SSS because of Mfanko Konfanochi. Now I bind to prekese no, but you only vote to free Kumasi.
Tie Obia sending message with regards to Ivory Coast. Or see Ivory Coast. To say na kaya no kwena mrane say obi tiganim. No susu say ho no kwa nyama no. Otumi tu o tu no now already in balance man. Yeah. And no can just say me high asana me the balance. In Africa unye 2 year na. Africa say yawo. Yes. I never talk about proceed.
Yes. So Ghana na agro ya dwin to be very honest. Nipa nya tumi na your friend na bo na your friends or koba na we did na chi some common sense eh ade ayira. Because these are the basic things that you must address. And I'm telling you, sir, way this rent issues way. So we are buying us a with me solve once and for all. Trust me, you win the love of young people for a very long time. Because idea bakwe di amamfo nya e okroma e sade na. Because averagely, young people from where you Ghana high, dodoa ye tia na 1,500, 1,008. 1,500, 1,000. Now we will be 1,500. You also owe me to rent 100 million, 80 million. Because you have not provided your friends rent, your friends housing, your friends accommodation for a month from bear rent.
All man incentive via.
Until you should be able to regulate. And for me, is even going to create another job opportunity. Because this rent control, say a resource na. You make sure say every single room will be the man will be registered. And it will be on a portal. Okay. So you don't deal with Fiura. There is a system that is registered on. So you go on the portal, look at where you want to rent. You pick a room from the app. And then from the database, you pay through the database. Then the fear and imagine the commission through rent control. And to what if you are, when if you are Nisika.
Okay.
O time sooner won't win to rent control now will kick you out. And then another person what has happened make
and you just go there for your money.
For your money. You have nothing to do with the fear and our catch say and I'm at home when I feel cement wide. Sound diamond say you sit down see who we are. Yes, and the cement is I can't be a Dina, yes, see where we know. You're too cement man. We got chrono. Just say, Obi a yadope. And because the very people on the side dynamite behind are the same politicians, I don't know Riesika as you see a dying or East Legon as a phone. That is how they rent it out. That is the same way. What the diner was sit down. Sir, my sit down 40 or East Legon mine on the number. Said you move Mudiano. Yeah, 40 or East Legon. I'm going to mine apartment or the more I know what 3 years advance.
Elon Musk, I
simple to Elon Musk. Or the more I know what 3 years advance. And this is Capudo on her, and the Mrano, they will not enforce it. Now, some of you what are some American?
That's right.
And many of them, that is how they do. Is the reason why I just run this thing. Nobody want to push it through. But for me, I think that
the government has to push it.
President Mahama will have to be bold enough this time round. Because you see, me say governance and you don't go about be aso ngurem so ko kan ba oba na hu be implement you. Just I won't go ngurem ho my idea. You don't know anything about governance. Common sense. You look at society's immediate problems.
Okay.
I have affected a larger number of people.
And you solve it.
You solve it. It's solved. And at the end of the day, no, you'll be remembered. That was a time. Men and Nabi, or Rollins are some to the sense that Nessa Rollins is babaki be more, but do you know why? Then who Rollins is I did back up. Sir, interstate succession law. No,
that's right.
Who knew and I pam on man in your free. Or by not, Sardian Kake.
And that's succession law of 1985.
Yes. Right? That law alone. So Rollins is babaki be a man. She doesn't care what Rollins did. Or fan so no, she doesn't care. All she cares is say Rollins the Marabi buyer. Because not the husband was rich. The family people were gauging say Papa no we pamo but that law saved her. Be seen there on any ma enya ba bi tena be seen there. Just a government policy. They didn't need money.
That's right.
They didn't need money. So when rather
government policy to we be good banks. Pamu Ghana for control. Ivan, someone up and then come right.
Me budget see the kwale me nyuru abi o ma push for baby. So Alaska, I think say it's very very important. Sir, Babia, the way manner things are going, you know, I think the finance minister and at the economic front, you know, the gentleman has really done well.
Very well.
Seriously.
And you see, there are a man for one name in chance. Oh, yeah. Now, bring bien who about within 4 months. Obey to me, 6 months to me, yama this changes. I near more must say, and say, hey, Alaska. As old Tim Betina buy more 8 years now for one mass now, Koreans and will be a decent for so and they're not who.
Because Coco Crano, your near friend is Abruabedi.
Alaska. So with him Betina Korea for 8 years. Now when Yan's a policy back, who cry Yamana within 8 years, when you're some for so now Korea. Alaska, the change then Ningina has to do with this. One thing has to do with this, your friends say, gold board way. And gold board alone. Gold board is just a small part of it. Because gold board, you know, IMF seek your model my 3 years in United 3 billion.
Yeah.
For 3 years, so IMF for IMF, you, I have 3 billion. Oh. Gold board within 6 months, at me generated $5 billion. So which means Sika or Chrome ha. Make a choice, Sika Ghana one, sir. Fianga country Europe. Obi any half. Yeah, near my yard.
That's right. But just a Sikano Echo Gu among
for bottom. Because IMF Bedi a Temochi nim am my 3 billion for just 3 years. Not within 6 months. Gold I had to talk to the carbon timber to it mean 5 billion within 6 months.
Anyone in the Ejapa, Omu your mother's uncle, Omu no bebe boy a busia. Nanka says when Aquamu one you to Tamaria Silver say. So
say Bank of Ghana a lot of forex.
That's right.
And now we see Chroma man for dollar short call him fan. Do you know why I'm for that propaganda no? This is what is happening. First, you know. Now I am very easy. Me wo 10,000 Ghana cedis. Ewo Ghana fia. Me tama na me call bank. me say me per dollar because and say bia ni ho na yesesa ma me kwa na ma ko bie me wardrobe na me de asha ase na ma say kopa another your friend say another cities na ma say kwa another bank na ma so people were taking the dollars from the bank on fan kwaye business on fan kwaye hwe no da kogu ni dem
adakoma abochi
no on fan ma abochi for them no abochi they get the money from the banks
okay
ono da kogu ni mpase and this a dollar na ye 11 cedis and now or can do 15 cedis no cost san we nyam faso over about 400 million
okay
because we nya $10,000 go them na say dollar aye 10 cedis na say e ko do 15 cedis a we nya adwuma we nya hwe we nyam faso 500 million 50,000 Ghana cedi flat a big business amount for you no kroma say and that's what they were doing or time cedi not the bank no na say Bank of Ghana say obi ba bank say or ba be per dollar make sure say oko import it ana o tu kwan okura passport and visa bibia bo match say because what kroma you need dollar okroma what the dollar here then
okay that's right
so that is why people are crying say dollar short ko he for Bank of Ghana reserves on wo no enye sika ketwa na egu ho
that's right
within this short period the gentleman has been able to accumulate over $2.11 billion and egu ho our Bank of Ghana yeah, obudi bi share your friends the forest market no crowd and say IMF for it they said you know sika ho so it's not a $6 but amount for paid do this nefarious activity
and you reasons no and you convincing
yes so the only reason about me akọ dollar call obet me akọ bank akọ withdraw dollar na say me Ghana me yeah adwuma for an American company my BA forest account the American company pay me into my dollar account or Ghana. When I go to the bank to withdraw, dollar na minti na buy, so meet me.
Okay.
Min kon kost say dollar. And I media kugu bank. And I say, mako biye dollar account. And I made dollar no free chrome ha na di kwa kogum dabi. And now we yes akwa wo mi amount. Kwa adwuma be na we ya wo pay dollar account. You need to. So obi a wo ye adwuma inflows no free abonten ba.
And the leakages no ana
omo block.
That
is more blocky. And now I'm for a dollar. And I'm because you see the communication and sometimes I have problem.
Exactly.
Some of these things now. Oh, Radde.
Oh, David, I'm only I'm
finish on the budget.
Okay.
So Alaska budget, you know. Kumasi, your friends to Accra. Road now down from Kufuor Penso Afibio Biaba and Obayefano. President Mahama so by expressway.
Okay.
A new road I three your friend is saying. And yes, that wakana keke. When is over the years, you know. Oil na yet to know Ghana will some fast wo. The only sika Ghana for big investment a year from oil. Investment na atobo gas na President Mahama the oil sika ye. And na mels so ye bi. Nko for e buy. Omba e no muko bie sa mef no sa mineral we no muko pe sika na ko honya besi no hwehwa wu ene na sky trainer ya fe ze birum gina jail no omugina court no so sa mef no e ho no mu de sa sika ni nyina kogu no mu didi nsemu no President Mahama say offense ya fe say all the oil money so every and the oil money ni nko ba bia ya the infrastructure that is the big push na oil no they say we identify major road across the country. Every single major road what Ghana is captured. Sikano from the oil money nearby yes including the Kumasi Express Highway.
And the source of funding no.
Yes, oil money no say enko ba bia biem. Eba be sa kwan nti sa Kumasi road no. Sisi amono ka say feasibility study asase o. By September they will be done. Once they finish road na asase no. And several other roads I count all the major corridor roads in the world and I'm told he's coming to build a brand new road.
That's
from
right.
Your friends is it I'll check and get it for you. So I think that you see the way Mahama shall see if this is how he's going to go, I think that he'll go a long way. Because your friend is saying governance, politics, leadership, must always be about so prioritizing the nipa pe. So we are buying one to me and yes, I near mana Alaska. Ohumba funi nipa and nipa to about tiao. And say otimi walk the talk and be able to do some of these things. NASA project and as for your market can otimi ya. I know the day people will look at these things and say, why are they you understand? And you want about church in Semu. Say yen we are no more church in Semua. guano mu go money masi because omo transfer no mo he niam cost within the 6 months they can't even understand ndo bet ye na shase o shase na kwesi sai 8 years ye fan say 8 good years one timi anya amanyansade ba kokora happy am wo enjoy wo kwatena fie na niam we happen and there are things abetimi atresi say a big problem eye sika na ye de amamfo na
that's right.
Yeah, me better catch us. I will stretch out my mini bit and up. Okay, so I will not tell you so. I said next year, I will be do. Don't forget to say, your friends say DDP payment, and I buy us said this year.
That's right.
But you see, the gentleman has been smart enough. Say, sinking fine now, sinking fund. Our president Mahama bottle on Baumedi Musikano. The gentleman has brought it back. Was so sikagum.
That's right.
Every on the DDP for a week. And the ever mature at the TA August. Sika ho di babetia. And was here the same thing next year. A kana Ghana babetia for that deferment no year no. Or the sikagum. Say we do next year no. Now when you 20 billion now they kwakusia. This is a smart guy. Oh yeah Nema. What has here? So for me, I think that the way they've started no, if it goes like this, trust me. Things will be okay.
Right.
That did come I'm not pending TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, pending TV.